My next guest is one of the two members of the Tennessee House expelled by their GOP colleagues in Nashville Thursday night. Since that vote, former Tennessee State Representative Justin J. Pearson has used his national platform to advance the fight for gun reform and for democracy. And he joins me now. Representative Pearson, thank you so much for taking the time this morning to have a little chat with me. So I wanted to start. 1 week ago, you were a newly sworn in legislator reeling from the mass shooting at a local school and speaking up for your community. You've now become one of the faces exposing injustice and racism in the Tennessee legislature and also inaction in Tennessee and around the country on gun violence. So how does that all feel to you?
You know, we have to remember that this started because of a tragedy in Nashville. 3 9-year-olds were killed, 3 adults at the Covenant School in Nashville. And the Tennessee state legislature and the Republican majority did nothing and said nothing in the wake of that terrible incident. And my colleagues and I going to the well of the House to advance this issue about the need for an end to gun violence, the need for us to stop listening to the NRA more than we're listening to our people, led to our expulsion. Myself, Representative and Representative Jones, and the filed expulsion papers for Representative Johnson. We are in a very terrible and terrifying time as it relates to democracy and as it relates to the silencing of voices who want to see just gun control.
And they tried to silence you. I mean, that's exactly what they were trying to do by expelling you. But instead, they gave you a huge megaphone. You've said you're going to keep fighting. What does that mean? What can people expect?
Yes, for the residents of District 86 who sent us to the legislature, we're going to fight to be back in the legislature through the appointment process of the Shelby County Commission, in addition to running for our seat again in the special election to serve District 86 in the State House, because that's what the voters want. They want advocates who are going to lift up the issues that matter in our community: poverty and healthcare, education, environment, and the end to gun violence.
Now, you've said you would accept a reappointment or run in a special election, as you just repeated there. But I'm not the only one wondering, after everything that happened, including on Thursday night, how can you possibly work with those Republicans who expelled you moving forward?
Mm-hmm. This issue has never just been about the individual Republicans. It's about an institution that continues to operate in a way that silences the minority, cuts off people's mics, doesn't allow for debate in committees, has a speaker named Cameron Sexton who operates as a dictator in the State House instead of treating it as the people's house. It's an institution that needs change, but that change and transformation can truly only come when we have people externally who are advocates pushing and protesting, like those children and teenagers who our speaker, Cameron Sexton, actually called insurrectionist. It's having them in the external and having people inside who are progressive, like Representative Johnson, Representative Jones, and myself, who are saying the cause for justice is too important for their partisan politics and their desire to devolve our democracy into a dictatorship to persist.
Now, there were thousands of people, kids, elementary school kids, protesting for the lack of action on gun violence and taking steps, something you were fighting for on the House floor. And the day you were expelled, Shannon Watts, who is the leader of Moms Demand Action, a gun violence group that's been around for a long time, tweeted, "I've been doing this work for nearly 11 years. And today was the first time I cried because I can feel a shift in the zeitgeist in America against gun extremism." That's pretty powerful for someone who's been doing this for a long time. Do you think we're seeing that kind of a breakthrough? What are you feeling on the ground?
Mm-hmm. I believe that this people-powered movement to end gun violence is growing. I believe the energy that you're seeing from young kids, from teenagers, from young adults to say that the status quo is not working. And the status quo has only led to consistent and persistent harm of our communities. And we are not going to take people who have been in positions of power for a very long time, wielding and abusing their authority to propagate the NRA, to propagate gun lobbyists, over the voices and the ideas and the opinions and perspectives of children and parents who want to ensure their kids go home after they go to school, but also people who live in communities like mine, where my own high school classmate was murdered by gun violence, like who don't want to live in that reality. There has to be something to change, and I believe this is the moment that is going to happen in America and in Tennessee.
There was an incredibly powerful photo of you hugging an emotional mom from the Covenant School that's been circling around. It's been all over social media. I mean, I looked at that photo as a mom, and it made me incredibly emotional. Talk about that moment, how you were feeling, and what kind of other feedback have you been getting from the community?
Yeah, that's Sarah, and she has a 5-year-old named Noah at Covenant School. And I grieved and I mourned with her because she should not have to be worried about her child going to school and there being a school shooting. And she shouldn't live in a state where the only response that the legislature can provide is we need to have more armed people at the schools. To see her and to see thousands of people who are saying there have to be better solutions than more guns. And there are better solutions that we know of, and they want to have advocates in the state legislature. That's what I'm hearing from people. But to see her face and to talk with her, it was a holy moment. And I told her God gave Noah a rainbow, a sign, and that she represents a sign for all of us who are in this movement for justice.
It's an incredibly powerful message to share with her. And as a mom, thank you for sharing that with me, too. Now, clearly, watching everything go down this week, racism, a history of racism, discomfort with disruption, I think it's fair to say, played a big role in your expulsion. What's your message to young people in Tennessee who may look like you or may not, but might be interested in public service and see what's happening to you and think, why would I put myself through all of this?
Yes. Because the fight for justice is worth it. Racism exists, sexism exists, xenophobia, transphobia, homophobia, all of these exist, and these injustices are harming people right in our state by people in positions of power, which is why we need new voices and new people who are advocating for a different vision. The reality is the reason that I want to serve District 86, the reason that I jumped into the race to be of service is because I believe that there is a different vision that is possible. And for young people, we have a different vision, and it is the right one. It is morally right. It is morally justifiable. And if we work for it, if we fight for it, just as our ancestors did when they marched and when they protested and when they raised their voices and when they broke decorum in order for us to have opportunities like this, I believe that generations from now, 7 generations from now, as some of my indigenous brothers and sisters remind us, we will look back on this moment as a turning point in the history for this country. And so let's fight together.
Representative Justin J. Pearson, thank you for your strength in this moment, for your voice. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me this Sunday.